again, KCIW listeners, and welcome to Curry Café. I'm volunteer and producer Rick McNamer. Every Sunday from 3 to 4 p.m., host Ray Gary puts together a panel of guests to discuss topics of interest in our community. Listeners can participate by texting questions or comments to 541-661-4098. Again, that's 541-661-4098, and we do have a working text line today. Now here's Ray, our famous radio personality, to tell us what's going on today.
We bid you welcome. Today we are going to discuss, everybody's favorite topic, I guess. I don't know, horror movies. Every one of us has a favorite horror movie. Every one of us has a movie we will never see again because it was really horrible. So we may start out today. I don't know. It's going to be very free form. We'll go all over the place, depending on what our guests want to do. Speaking of our guests, I'm going to go around the table now, and clockwise, and everybody can introduce themselves, sell some merch they have, or do whatever else works.
Free form. Good.
Clockwise would be.
Yes, sorry.
You're number 12 today.
Thank you, Ray. I'm Coreen McKinney, and I'm a local baker here in the community. And I'm just so surprised and pleased to be on the show today. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you for coming. And, well, I shouldn't thank you till I find out if you have anything worthwhile to say or not.
Exactly.
I'm sure you will.
We'll find that out probably pretty quickly. And now, the exalted, the one, the only star of stage and
screen. And
recently
music.
We found out he's also the star of screen because he was a very key player in the film festival we just had here.
I am Count Dracula, a musician of sorts.
Okay.
Lon Goddard and I was in that film. Deso Hoffman, Beatles photographer.
Right. Prominent role.
One of the worst horror movies ever made.
What?
Worst.
You fail to understand me.
No, I don't. It's okay. We'll get to you later, maybe. But
before we go, we have one other guest that nobody can see.
No.
It's
no,
this
and
giant.
She's shaking her head. No.
The giant black ant.
From yes.
I guess the movie Them, we had talked about that, but
yeah.
Indeed, with a
sitting prominently so we can all can see it, and it's scary.
With an exclamation point.
Okay, just had to get that in, Ray. Sorry.
Okay, I'm sorry. And if we were on television, you could see it, but you can't.
No, we'll have to describe it.
I don't know. Maybe this show will wind up in Facebook and somebody's thing. I don't know. Anyway, we've been trying to break this down to talk about something that makes a little sense. There's I don't know, 100 years or so of horror films. And we don't know where to begin or where to finish. So somebody said that we should start with what is well known by everybody. Every critic agrees that this is the finest film of any type ever made, and it includes several big stars and planning and just a wonderful movie, and that's Plan 9 from Outer Space.
Yes.
The person who wrote the dialogue in that, I'm sure, had to have won some type of award.
I believe Ed Wood did just about everything, including the dialogue.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Everything.
It's amazing that he was able to do all of that and still have such a fine
Ed was
movie.
thinking ahead. He actually filmed a lot of sequences with the aging Bela Lugosi before he even had the idea to film Plan 9 from Outer Space. So he had these in the can. It was Lugosi's last film.
Yeah, it wasn't.
And he
beyond
lived
his
in the
last
movie,
film
didn't
because
he?
he died during the making of it, and
He did.
They used, I believe it was
2 weeks into the making of it,
the director's wife finished the Lugosi.
a fellow called Tom Mason, who was about 2 feet taller than Lugosi, who covered his face over his nose with a cape for the rest of the film.
Even though there was no reason to cover his face or his nose. But then again, there was no reason for Elvira to walk around with her hands out like...
There was no reason for Elvira.
Yeah, that's true. Wasn't she the wife that died?
Well, the whole concept, the idea of aliens coming in, raising the dead to take over the planet was a little stretchy.
You think so?
I didn't believe it.
There was a lot of stretching in that movie.
There's skeptics and everything. There's some people that don't believe in Bigfoot.
Ed was real good with his economics. Like Tor Johnson, you remember the big fellow whose eyes disappeared? He looked like a wrestler.
Yes.
Well, he had a brother who was a cop, and so his brother supplied the cop car with the slab white side. Anytime they got into a car in the film, it was all black, but when it arrived, it had a white side to it, and that was Tor Johnson's brother's car in the Force.
That's interesting. I
And
wonder if he got in any trouble.
Tor got his name because it's a Scottish term for a hill on the moors, like a large protrusion, meaning big, and Tor was big.
He was that. For those of you who've never seen the film and know what we're talking about, this was made by,
Ed Wood Jr.
Ed Wood, one of the finer directors in Hollywood at the time. He didn't have any money to make a movie, but he wanted to make a movie. A good friend of his,
The Baptist Church, they financed the whole film.
that's true. That is true, yeah.
And I believe that they actually christened a few or baptized a couple of the cast members during the procedure.
Well, I didn't know that. A good friend of his was Bela Lugosi, and Bela Lugosi had just gotten out of rehab, and he decided to give Bela Lugosi something to do, and he had no idea what. And they went to this little town, and he filmed Bela Lugosi walking around, coming in and out of a little house, and busy picking flowers and stuff, and doing just all kinds of things. And then that was that, and they didn't do anything more with him. As I said earlier, Bela Lugosi died during the filming. So he had this footage, and he didn't know what to do with it, and then eventually come up with some other footage here and there, and got Elvira involved in it, and
it was originally titled Grave Robbers from Outer Space.
Yes.
But the Baptist Church disapproved of that title.
Oh.
So into this script, which was written kind of daily, there happened to be the aliens discussing this, we will have to employ Plan 9. So it became Plan 9 from Outer Space.
Yeah, and there's of course always the scientist with his wife who is discovering all sorts of things and noises and things going on that don't really always get fully explained. What was that all about? Then you have the two pilots in some type of an airplane that was just incredibly constructed.
Oh, it was. In fact, I believe I read that this is how Ed was thrifty. He had a shower curtain. He used it 3 different times. One of them was the aircraft in the back behind the pilots.
Really?
Another one was in the house of Lugosi, and it was then the curtain to get through to another room. And then there was a third usage of it. So
I would have sworn that was filmed in a real cockpit, the way the light came through. And anyway, shows how naive and simple I can be. Anyway, if you have never seen it, it's on YouTube, of course. And it's called
free.
Huh?
For free.
For free.
You can watch it for
there's
free.
a free version.
in fact, you have to pay, I think, or they pay you to see it.
I think they do, yeah. I think you fill out a
And
form
they
at the end.
A lot of people walking around among tombstones that are wavering.
But yeah, the cardboard tombstones are great, and the spaceship. I mean, you could not find a better spaceship. We have one very similar right here in the studio. We have some curtains hanging up on the wall, and all we would need is that big guy with the bulgy eyes to come out. Anyway, great movie. If you want to, don't let the kids see it though. It's pretty scary, I'd say.
Well, it's got to be a must-see. I mean, it's been. I think Seinfeld made it famous again. They had a little one of their episodes that they had to go to see Plan 9 just to go there and laugh at it and make fun of it. It's a good movie to do that. And if I would imagine people watching it back then could have looked and said, "God, I can act," because that. There was hardly any act.
And
I got to quote one line that's cracked me up because I rewatched it here a couple of weeks ago. One line, I think it was a police detective, and it was like very dramatic. There's been a murder and someone's responsible.
Yes.
I thought, wow, that's pithy.
Yeah.
So,
And
anyway.
did they all split up and then go in a different direction? Look,
It's great. So there you go.
Yep. That was, I don't want to give away any more of it because it will ruin you watching it. So let's just
All right.
ditch Plan 9 now. We'll go
Okay,
to
we
Plan
can do that.
10. Maybe wondering how the horror movie genre began and became so popular. Way back in the 30s, the Depression was on, and Universal Studio was really in trouble. They were looking for something to get going again with, and somebody came up with, well, let's do
Horror movies.
Horror movies.
no, the movie. I
Well,
lost.
Dracula was probably the first.
No,
that was,
the Quasimodo.
Oh,
the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Yeah, that was first.
The
I don't think it was like billed as a horror movie, but it was, and it was a big success. And they decided they would maybe continue with that, and came up with the idea of filming Dracula. Well, let me back up a little bit. They didn't film Dracula. There was the people who had the rights to Dracula did not want to allow a film to be made from it. So this company in Europe, do you know the name of the people who did this?
No, the Germans that filmed Nosferatu.
Nosferatu, that's what I'm looking at. Did you know? You don't have a director name or something. Anyway, what they did is they took the Dracula story and very, very, very thinly veiled it, changed the name of the vampire to Orloff, and was really a creepy-looking dude. And they made a silent film called Nosferatu. Now, that movie has been made at least 3 times that I know of, including that one. No, and just a recent one was made about a year or 2 ago.
Klaus Kinski is the major remake.
and since you brought up Nosferatu, that thing, the original silent movie, still scares me.
Me too.
That whoever played that horrible creature.
It was called, the man's name was Max Schreck.
Okay.
Schreck is German for horror. So it was Max Horror.
Wow. Well, it works.
Perfect.
And he was
That's a
he
scary
was so
movie, in my
believable that
opinion.
during the filming, even some of the crew thought that he actually was a vampire.
He looked it to me.
Yeah, he was not a very nice-looking dude, and he had these long
I
nails.
wouldn't call it that. No.
I don't know how he could eat with those long. Well, of course
Again,
he
for
was.
what was that? The 20s?
I thought,
Yeah, it was a silent film.
I thought he looked a bit more like Vampira undressed.
So the movie, like I said, it is a very thinly veiled Dracula. And that's what the people who owned the rights to Dracula thought too, and they sued,
Oh, I didn't.
and they won. And the company that owned the movie was ordered to destroy all copies of it, never show it again, and blah, 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 all those things that courts order that you ignore. And it turns out there was 3 copies of it, 3 or 4 copies in different collections around the world, so they were able to bring it back to life. And again, YouTube will come to the rescue if you've never seen it. It can be kind of funny in places too, but it really is a good movie. Then that was remade, like I said, a couple of times. Was there one like in the 50s or 60s or something? Ron?
I'm not sure of a third one.
Oh, you did. The middle one was the one I thought was the best. It was a talkie.
The only one I know is Kinski in the lead.
I don't know that.
I'm not sure which one that is.
Oh, okay.
If there's
So
three.
the recent one, and then one before that. But anyway, I thought the one before that I don't know when it was the best of the 3. And I think you might be able to watch Nosferatu. I know you can watch Nosferatu on some type of a pay-per-view thing. Pretty much the same exact movie, but just done with better film and equipment. And
I don't see how that silent one could be any better, but that's just my opinion.
if you
I'm right there with you, Rick.
Yeah.
Well, Lugosi's peak was Dracula, which
I'm sorry.
Lugosi's peak was Dracula, which followed in 31, I do believe.
Yeah, in 31, they finally did get the rights to make a movie. Actually, before the movie was made, they made a play, and the play was, I guess, on Broadway. And
he was on Broadway doing it.
Right. Bela Lugosi was Dracula in the play, and he had to fight like heck to get the role in the movies. They wanted to use some other people, and I just cannot picture anybody else in that role. I mean, he was just perfect. He looked perfect, and
It's iconic.
The Hungarian accent he had, and it was just perfect.
He didn't need much makeup either, did he?
I don't know. Probably in some
Like
sense.
Lon said, who did a good impression, by the way.
Not as much as Boris.
Right.
And at the same time they were filming that, the sets were used at night to film the Spanish version of
Right.
it.
Exact same movie, and supposedly the Spanish version is better.
In many ways, but the Spanish Dracula doesn't have the veritas that Lugosi has
nobody
by
does.
any means.
Nobody has ever had that again.
But they did directorially score quite a bit, and their use of the sets was superior in a lot of ways. But
They filmed the English version during the day and the Spanish version at night. At that time, it was expensive and not that easy to dub a movie. So rather than try to dub it, it was actually more efficient for them to just make the same movie again at night using all the same equipment.
And it's a bit more official because the Spanish cast had to live by night.
Oh, I never thought of that.
Very vampiric.
Did they have to quit when the sun came up?
Adds to it.
Then they quit.
Now, if you've never seen that movie, it's really a very good movie. It's a good story. It's very well done, very well acted. It has some of the key people from the horror genre, like
Dwight Fry.
Dwight Fry. Yes, Dwight Fry. The original, the Dracula movie wasn't very scary, I didn't think. I saw it when I was a kid in about 1957 when, I guess like most places, we had a late night show that played these old horror movies. And
I think every community probably had one of those.
yes,
I know we did in Sacramento.
the scariest part in that movie is when Dracula comes and lands, crash lands on the shore. Or no, it didn't crash land on that one. The boat just came in by itself, and when the officials go to look at the ship, they find out everybody's dead. The captain is tied to the rails and all this other, or the wheel. And then they hear this strange noises, and coming up from below deck. And they open the door, and there's Dwight Fry with this evil-looking grin, and he's laughing like that. That was the only part in that movie that gave me kind of a chill.
He did that several times, and you're right, it was chilling.
Yeah, and he was a pretty major part of the movie, and he was in a lot of movies. Very, very clever, very changeable, chameleon-like. But anyway, throughout the movie, he started out in the movie as the guy that goes to Transylvania as the realtor to get Dracula set up in London.
In Carfax Abbey.
In Carfax Abbey, yes. Which he was going to do very little repair because it reminded him of the broken battlements at his home in Transylvania.
Well, you talked about the old movies that really scared. I go back to my childhood in the 50s. One of the ones that got me was the original The Fly with Vincent Price. I mean, as a kid, I still have, at the very end of that movie, that guy that was like, his head was the fly, and that help me, it just gives me the creeps to this day.
When that movie came out, part of the hype for the movie was they would pay some amount of money. It wasn't a great deal to anybody who could prove that it couldn't possibly happen.
We got to watch out now because we're in color here.
What?
The Fly was in color.
Oh, okay. Now
That's okay. We don't have to stop with color, do we?
No.
Oh, no. I think we decided that in the.
Do you remember the sound?
Oh,
That's Milk laced
Terrifying.
with rum, and that's what the man who turned into the fly always asked his lady to bring him.
Oh, God. Memories, memories.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And then how about remakes? Now, I never did see the remake with Jeff Goldblum,
Gooey.
Correct.
I think.
Very good.
It was good?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
'Cause I'm not a remake fan myself too much, but yeah, and a lot of these have been the ones that I had. Invasion of the Body Snatchers. That's another one that kind of creeped me out. as a
Also
kid.
Gooey, the remake.
Okay, okay. So, and I, again, didn't see the remake.
Oh, maybe I shouldn't get political, but I will try to do this. If you remember in that movie, people were wandering around, they all looked normal and things like that, and then somebody would run up into somebody and try to talk to them, and then they'd scream or do something that showed that they were one of the monsters or whatever they were. Am I getting the right movie?
Not in the original. The original, they were sort of stone-faced, really.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe it was the second one then.
All they did was carry out their one task, which was to move the pods around town into places where they were safe enough to sprout.
Oh.
And then new fake humans were born, replacing the originals.
Well, in the last one, didn't you walk up to somebody and they would be perfectly normal, and then they would do this horrible scream?
Not sure, but I'm sure since it was
Okay.
later.
Anyway, so that since nobody knows about it,
I happen to believe that the originals had some heart-pounding substance to them, The Fly and
Oh, yeah.
Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Yeah.
Both of those were tense, and you had to hold your breath in a lot of cases. And there were genuine shocks, whereas both remakes are very much into very obvious in-your-face effects. So there's a lot of slime, and there's a lot of goo, and a lot of attacks, and things that are graphic as
Okay.
opposed to suggested.
you just reminded me of some things that make me not want to watch that movie again, just for the heck of it. I'm not that big a fan of that era of movies. Once we started getting Vincent Price and all these other people involved a whole lot, and a lot more professional effects. Although in the second Fly, it made a lot more sense, and they did it better, and the little fly hairs growing out and things like that. But
That's a lot of CGI, right?
yes, no, I don't think CGI was around yet. CGI is fairly like
Okay.
Jurassic Park. I think is kind of the beginning of CGI, isn't it?
Okay. Okay. I kind of like the old hokey special effects. Depending, we talked about King Kong, Ray Harryhausen.
Oh yeah,
Well, I'm generally with you there, yes.
Oh my gosh!
I think King Kong is one of the best movies ever made.
yes.
And it stands up today, which is remarkable.
And is looking at that again, and I see it all the time. I think about when the original when they did show that in the theaters, when he's up there on stage, King Kong, of course, and doing that grimacing, that scared a lot of people. Might still scare me a little bit. What the heck?
Scared everybody in the theater. They just ran out. Well, it was after we broke the chains. But.
There's a remarkable fact I found about King Kong and its relation to the Black Scorpion, which I believe was made in 1953, which has scorpions invading a little town in Mexico, giant ones which come out of a hole in the ground. But what doesn't come out of a hole in the ground?
And what isn't giant?
But as they go down in their little intrepid car on a rope down to the floor of this cave to find out what's going on, there is a sequence there with spiders, which is stop frame, and a worm that battles a scorpion. And these were scenes that were meant to be in the crevice when King Kong turned over the log and the sailors fell into it. And they were excised. So it's the only footage from Kong by Willis O'Brien, the original animator, that exists, and it was used in The Black Scorpion.
Now, wasn't that considered too gory or too scary to use in King Kong? And
I don't know their reasoning for not doing it.
I read that someplace that when the latest King Kong came out, and they carry that scene on way too long, I thought, and people are falling off and they're getting eaten.
I thought
by
they
these
carried the
different
film on way too long.
Oh yeah, a lot of it
From
was
5
too long.
minutes into it.
Yeah, 5 minutes in, you didn't
A
like
lot of
it.
them were that way, including Plan 9. But you got to watch the whole thing.
Oh,
Anyway,
I loved that. I loved the second one. I didn't like the third one, not the second one. The second one was
Well,
they're
it didn't get
exploring
that
for
far.
oil or something, and then they come up. That was dumb. I didn't like that movie at all.
I bet you didn't like Son of Kong.
No.
You know,
Or Mighty Joe Young. That was another offshoot.
That's Ray Harryhausen.
Gotta love Ray
I
Harryhausen.
thought it was great.
that's
I was a dinosaur fan as a kid and all of that stuff.
I got to have lunch with Ray Harryhausen at his house in Holland Park in London.
Well, that's cool.
I wrote a fan letter. It's the only one that I ever wrote, the only one that anyone ever answered. He answered it, and he said, come to my house, here's the address, and have lunch.
Wow.
Somebody told me his name was in the phone book. I said, you must be kidding. But it was, along with his address. So I wrote him a letter.
Unbelievable.
And I had a couple of hours there looking at, I held the little tiny Raquel Welch from 1 million years BC. I held Raquel Welch, let me tell you.
that's pretty close.
I'm wondering what you put in that letter.
It was a very long letter saying how much I really loved his animation, and I went through everything he'd ever done. So I guess it impressed him enough to say, come by.
And you're right. His animation it's still special to me. And I don't know. Now, when he did that, wasn't it, I'm assuming he had little movements that must have taken weeks. I don't know.
It's incredible. Especially
He must have talked about that with you.
He did. And when he had to do tiny movements like, well, for instance, in The Black Scorpion, there's, a scorpion has 8 legs, but 2 of them are pinchers. But there's some 6 other legs that are all moving at the same time. And sometimes there's more than one scorpion on the screen. And he has to move every one of those little things, minute little inch, less than an inch, a micro inch, and then rephotograph. And then piece them together with a plan ahead.
Sure.
It's pretty
Stripped it out.
amazing.
I mean, I wouldn't have the patience for that. No way.
The scorpions in that
Brian
movie.
Harryhausen.
The way a scorpion works kind of lends itself to stop action, and it looks very realistic.
And his work also, to keep, like I said, I do love the guy. I love this movie. The Seventh, is it Sinbad?
The
They
Seventh
had
Voyage
the
of Sinbad.
Medusa
Oh, yes. So
and
good.
the skeletons. I mean,
Yep.
that was some,
Well, that's Jason and the Argonauts.
yeah, thank you. Thank you.
King Kong has one of the famous movie lines, at least I think it is, that was in the original and then it was in the last one that Jack Black was in, but it wasn't in the stupid one that was made in the 70s. And when King Kong is laying there dead on the street, a cop comes up to, what's his name? He says, well, the plane's got
Robert
the...
Armstrong.
Huh?
Robert Armstrong.
Yeah. Robert Armstrong?
He's the star.
Okay, yeah, in the original. And the cop says, well, it looks like the plane's got the beast, got him. And he says, oh, no, it wasn't the planes. It was beauty that killed the beast.
That's,
Yep.
Yes.
you bet.
And
Iconic line.
so when they made the second one, that was awful.
Son of Kong, it was not awful.
Not Son of Kong, no, the other one
Oh, the second one of
where
King
he comes to
Kong.
New York City or he's in
Dreadful.
L.A. or
Yes.
Dreadful.
yeah, and the cop says, I guess the plane's got the... And he didn't say that line. How can you not say the most famous line?
Because you had
that
to leave it in the original, man.
Yeah, well, I'm
The
not.
most
I'm
powerful.
I'm never going to watch
No.
that version again, just because I know that is coming in the end. Anticipation.
Preserve it.
Well, and this is Freeform, and it's wonderful. We just bounced back. I have to go back to bad movies, back to Plan 9. The other one that I've seen kind of recently, just because it was so hokey and terrible but funny, was The Attack of the 50-Foot Woman, if anybody's ever
Yeah.
seen that.
I loved it
Oh, my gosh. Oh, yeah.
because
I
of the sets.
the sets and I think my favorite scene is when his ticked off wife comes in there and rips the roof off of the bar where he's having a dalliance with his girlfriend, whatever, and her arm comes in there that looks like a bad float in the Rose Parade or something. But it's what those movies were all about.
The original King Kong had kind of a hokey thing, similar to that. He crashes through the window and reaches in and
When it
grabs
was up the Empire State Building.
They
No,
had to
no,
construct-
not- no,
They had to
we-
construct that arm too.
Yeah, is that what you're talking about?
No, when he's looking for the girl and
Comes in through the window.
Yeah, he looks in through the window and he sees somebody that looks like her, and the arm comes in and clamps
Was
her.
it that
And
he was crawling up the Empire State Building?
I think so.
Yeah.
no, this had nothing to do with this was way before the Empire State. But he's still looking
Oh,
for
maybe
the girl.
so. Okay, I won't
And he
question raised.
he just saw a blonde in there, and he grabbed the blonde and took
But
her out.
remember, he also tossed the blonde into the street. He just dropped her surreptitiously.
Oh, yeah, the one that he
threw down.
Okay.
And that was cut from some of the original versions of it because it was considered too violent. Another little fun fact: when Fay Wray died, I forget what year, they blackened the
light.
turned the lights off in the Empire State Building and as a tribute.
I can never look at the Empire State Building and not think of King Kong.
You know, Son of Kong was actually one of the models used in King Kong. I believe it was the middle one of three. All they did was repaint the fur and change a little bit of the construction of the face so they'd have slightly different
He looked
modes.
a little happier, didn't he?
A little happier. But he was actually King Kong himself.
I have a little story to tell on Lon. I don't think he'd mind.
We'll find out after you tell it.
Ouch.
A while back, we were talking about it, and I told him that a person I was seeing at the time had never seen the movie, and he says, "Oh, I'll lend you a copy of it." And when he showed up, it was a copy of the movie, one of these 2-disc things, and one of it was King Kong, and the other was Son of Kong. And he says, "You don't have to bring it back. I have several of them." And Lon's lady friend said, "Yes, when we go into an old store and he finds a copy of this all by itself, he has to bring it home so he can join it with the other copies of King Kong. He doesn't like them being alone there." So,
Well, it's true.
Well, he did say it was his favorite.
I'll give everybody an opportunity to wipe away a tear after that. So.
I do have several copies of it, Blu-ray down.
Wow. Well, and again, I can't count how many times I've seen it. So, and I think, God, it's hard to remember back the first time I did was a kid, but I remember being fascinated with that. Of course, being the dinosaur kid, had, all the Triceratops and Brontosaurus. Even as a kid, I thought, well, Brontosauruses aren't really supposed to be that mean, are they? Remember, it's the one that chomped on.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
vegetarian.
Maybe he thought, the Brontosaurus thought they were pods or something. I
Yeah,
don't know.
we established that in Jurassic Park. We straightened that out because in Jurassic Park
God.
they are
Okay.
herbivores. I saw the movie the first time. We used to have a program in New York that was called the $1 Million Movie, and what they did was, at this time I have to explain too that no movie was on television unless it was at least 30 or 40 years old. I'm not exaggerating even a little bit. And so King Kong came up being the old enough to be on this show, and the $1 Million Movie played the same movie at the same time every night for 5 days in a row. So we all got to watch King Kong for the first time, and third, fourth, and fifth time on the $1 Million Movie. And the next day in school, especially after the first, there was nothing else talked about in the hallway. Everybody could just unbelievably enamored with it.
And still are.
Yeah,
Exactly.
When I'm running through the channels to see what I want to record, I cannot go by that without recording it, even though I now have a copy of it that Lon graciously gave me. But it just kind of goes against. I can't not record that.
May I interject on behalf of the giant ant that's sitting in the middle of the table here, which we brought in to remind us of the classic movie Them, with the exclamation point in the title, which has a lot of interesting trivia about it, starting with the idea that the black and white movie's title bursts at you in color, and that's the last bit of color in the film.
Really?
Wow, I do not. I've seen that movie a lot, and I don't remember that.
And also, I always love to tell people this, it's a case of Davy Crockett meets Matt Dillon, because Fess Parker plays one of the inmates in a psychiatric ward.
Quick little part, too.
And, of course, James Arness is the FBI agent star of the film. So these two have dialogue together. And what is reported is that Disney saw the film, saw Parker, and said, "That's my Davy Crockett."
I'll be darned. And I had a Davy Crockett hat as a kid.
Didn't we all?
So
Me
did
too.
I.
Okay.
Mine was cardboard.
I had a Davy Crockett hat as well.
Oh, my gosh. We have a member of the youth movement here with us today, too.
Ladies had a hat, too.
We're not just a bunch of old people here today. I was going to ask you, Curry, so you know a lot of these old hokey movies, a lot of them, but some great ones.
Yes, I actually grew up watching them because all we had was a VHS at my house.
Okay.
So my parents would record at my grandmother's all the old scary movies and sci-fi
That is cool.
and kung fu movies, of course, as
Oh,
well.
my.
And
Okay.
we would watch that every Friday night
That's cool.
as a family. Yeah.
Friday night at the movies.
Friday night, we watched a lot of silent films.
Wow.
We brought up the name Dwight Fry a little earlier, who
Yeah, I wasn't aware of that name.
Played in Dracula, of course, but he also played in a lot of those movies. He was Fritz in
Don't know.
Frankenstein. Is that right?
Well, he was he was Fritz in The Bride of Frankenstein, and then he occurred again in where was that the third time? I mean, he was summarily killed in Frankenstein, and then suddenly there he was as the Hunchback Fritz.
Yeah, okay.
In
But the rates had gone up.
The Bride of Frankenstein, but then he came up again. He kept being killed and coming back.
Classic horror movie.
And still
But anyway, he was
Yes, master, I hear you, master. And he always liked to eat spiders.
Oh, my.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
so he
I
had a
remember
pretty
that
good
from a
career
lot.
playing these kind of people
Well-
in the movies, and then he ran into all of the kind of problems, these people who don't quite get the parts they want and everything, and I think he got involved in drugs and alcohol and that type of thing, and he was
I think that was pretty popular back then.
Yes, it
wasn't
was.
yeah.
Hollywood.
on his way back.
He certainly
in-
died early, Dwight Fry.
Yeah, he was on his way back
his
into the
30s.
business, and he was on a bus going home. He had a big part in a real movie coming up, and he died on the bus, so he never got to play that.
You
He
know,
was-
Lon, earlier we were talking about Hunchback of Notre Dame, and the one with Lon Chaney,
Yes,
that was silent.
silent.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
I never did see that, but I did see the one with Charles Lawton,
Lawton.
and I tell you what, man, that one, I thought that was pretty great.
It
Not
was.
only has Maureen O'Hara, one of the most beautiful
Oh,
women
Beautiful.
ever, my
I
opinion,
agree
but-
with you that
but it was
yes, she's
tearful.
gorgeous.
Yeah, and when
Yeah.
she took pity on that one, powerful movie
It was
to
a
me.
bit of a heartbreaker there.
Yeah.
It certainly was.
And Charles Lawton could never be accused of a bad job of acting, ever.
No.
And he got
And he was married to Elsa Lanchester, the bride
Another
of
wonderful
Frankenstein.
Bride of Frankenstein. I love her too. Love her. Okay, I just wanted to throw that out there.
So speaking of, as we just did, Bride of Frankenstein in the movie opens up with
Uno O'Connor.
Shelley
I see.
starting out to tell the story.
Yeah.
Right.
And then she also plays the Bride of Frankenstein. Is there a
Yeah, she
reason
does.
for that connection? Do you know?
She asked James Whale if she could do that, and he liked the idea.
She was great. She was great.
And it turned out terrific. It was a really iconic piece of work.
Yeah.
It's only about 30 seconds long or something.
They had
and
to-
the incredible scream.
Yeah.
And
Apparently
that
they had
hairdo
to-
never did become popular, though, did it?
They had to edit a little bit of her décolletage, I'm told.
Oh,
Because
It was too much for the screen
oh,
or the people watching.
was that pre-Hayes or after?
It would have been pre-Hayes, yeah.
Pre- what we're talking about
It
is
was 35.
what year did they come up with the?
Not sure, but it's not 1935.
Anyway, there were
It-
people who decided that there was too much bad
Yeah,
stuff in
right.
movies, and
What
that,
is that called?
all movies had to be approved, and you couldn't. One of the things was the bad guy could never win. He always had to be killed or jail at the end. Couldn't show dead bodies. Couldn't show people being lots and lots of silly things.
pre-code. There was a code.
Pre-code. That's really yeah.
Yeah, the Hayes Code.
Oh,
Hayes
okay.
Code, yeah.
Okay. Wow. You know what? Can't believe we're 3/4 through. I was going to say, if y'all out there have a favorite movie or want to have a question or comment, 541-661-4098. And speaking of Frankenstein, let me jump up ahead, even though it's a newer movie, but in black and white. I thought one of the funniest movies ever, Young Frankenstein.
Oh my goodness.
Or
Gene Hackman.
Frankenstein, as Gene Wilder. Another one I've watched 100 times and crack up. I know what's coming, but and the quotes great knockers, roll in the hay. And my favorite, the dance with, I can't remember the actor's name, doing the putting on the Ritz, that whole thing. It's just a brilliant movie.
Put back the candle.
Okay, all of that. We talked about that a little
Stay close to the candles.
Great movie. And I love the fact how they did it in black and white, and it just replicated watching it like it was back
the Hermit sequence, the original Hermit sequence with O.P. Hedgie in The Bride of Frankenstein. Now Gene Hackman got to take over that role and was fantastically funny.
He was the whole. Yeah, that was just a great.
That was
flick.
the Bride of Frankenstein. That was
In Young Frankenstein.
In Young Frankenstein, yeah.
Gene Hackman got to play the Hermit.
Yeah. I was just going to make. What was he going to?
Cappuccino or something at the very end. Anyway, Gazpacho.
Yes.
Our sound man, Mr. Michael, came in with that. Thanks.
I played that hermit in Bride of Frankenstein as my Halloween costume last year.
All right.
Do you have pics? I know we can't show them on the air here.
I don't think I have any pics
That
on me.
is beautiful.
Yes.
That's
it was
great.
very fun.
That is
Nobody
cool.
recognized me, which was the greatest part.
That's a true actress.
And Halloween kind of around the corner these days.
Right around the corner.
I'll be darned.
Yeah, and the Brookings Haunted House is coming out pretty soon as well.
Okay.
And we just learned before the show started that Rocky Horror Picture Show is going to be playing in the Redwood on.
Oh.
And I'm embarrassed to admit I've never seen that.
Oh, you have to
I
go.
should be flogged.
I saw it live in London. I saw it live in London with the original cast.
Really?
Good. Wow.
Yeah, that's why they
didn't
called
care
it.
much for it.
Oh, really?
Not really.
Okay. Well, I have to.
That's where
try
the
it
name
anyway.
Picture Show
Yes,
comes
definitely
from.
try it at least once.
I will. It's like watching. No, I was going to compare it to Plan 9. No, never mind.
And
That's not it.
just learned this morning in doing some prep for the show that movie actually bombed when it first came out. And then when it caught on, it turned out to be one of the longest continuing movies ever.
It's a cult movie now.
Yeah. Oh, it's beyond cult.
With a
Yeah,
cult
it's a
following.
I'm sure it's going to catch up with me eventually.
And we're talking a lot of old movies, horror, sci-fi, whatever. And there's some newer ones that I kind of liked in color, not black and white. But the Andromeda Strain, does anybody remember that?
I've seen it.
I thought that had a pretty good little storyline.
Going into pure sci-fi now.
Okay. Yeah. Right. Soylent Green. I know Charles.
Edward G. Robinson's last film.
And one of my favorite actors right there. I watch that guy in almost any. Edward G. Robinson. But
He died in the film and then after.
that's right. Shortly thereafter.
Had kind of an unusual role in the movie.
Yeah.
Unlike his roles would have been.
He chose suicide in the film.
Is that right?
Right. Watching the beautiful scenery go up
It's
and
a lovely way to go.
Yeah. Up here, we could just do it out on the beaches, but there you had to be on TV, I guess, whatever that. Pretty creepy movie, though. Yeah.
It was Charlton Heston, yeah.
And let's see. Gosh, I had all kinds of others written down back to. Of course, now I can't find the notes that I was looking for. Go ahead, Ray.
Do you have any favorite Lon Chaney movies?
Do I?
Yeah.
Son of Dracula, I think is pretty good. The Wolfman is the best thing he ever did, I do believe.
That's
The
Junior.
original, The Wolfman.
Lon Chaney
you
Sr.
mean Chaney Sr.?
Yeah.
Not really, because he was more or less a silent star.
Mostly, yeah. But even at that, he was just incredible.
But he was the man with 1,000 faces, so we have to give him all that credit.
Yeah.
Lon Chaney Jr. was a bit of a non-starter. It was not very animated, but given a role like the Wolfman, powerful piece of work with makeup. And Maria Uspenskaya said even with the word of the moon at night and all this stuff, it was just with the fog and the terrific makeup, Jack Pierce again. It's an outstanding piece of work, the original Wolfman.
Now, are we talking Lon Chaney Jr. as he transitioned to the Wolfman?
Transition to
the Wolfman. I was thinking. I think it's in Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein, where he was playing
He's
that
in
part.
that too.
In that too, but that transition was for that time, I thought it worked pretty well.
I thought
showing
so too.
him,
Yeah.
growing the fur and the claws and all of that.
But of course, that's the comedy aspect of it. In The Wolfman, it wasn't funny.
It wasn't comedy, no.
Okay, and you know what? I did not see
also, Bela Lugosi was in that as the son of Maria
Bela.
Ouspensky, the gypsy.
Bela was that?
Yeah, he was in there. He was called Bela, too,
Bela, yeah.
in the film.
And the old gypsy woman, she was a classic.
Maria Ouspensky was
Absolutely.
ace. She was something else.
Yes. I'm trying to remember the saying.
Even when the moon is full and bright, you must pull into a wolf, and when blah blah like that of some sort.
A man who is pure at
Even though
heart and
he's
says
pure
his,
at heart,
says his prayers by night can become a wolf when the wolfbane blooms.
And the moon is full and bright.
Yes.
the American.
I'm mentally working on my Hungarian accent so I can do it like.
Well,
she
you can
did.
stop.
But when I get to it, I'll
Let us know, will you?
Comes around again on the guitar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of the creepy about the werewolves, was American Werewolf in London.
Splendid.
I thought that was good,
Splendid
and especially
movie.
when they went into the slaughtered lamb and the people were just talking kind of creepy, and you could hear the howling. And that scene where they get caught by the werewolf was pretty brutal.
And it was outright black
scary.
comedy as well as being bloody and
it
brutal.
was
That's
good.
what was great about it.
Yes, I love that black, dark
my
humor.
heart's racing right now just thinking about it.
So you're familiar
Oh,
with
yes.
that movie? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it was very good.
The Slaughtered Lamb. I mean, a pub called the Slaughtered Lamb.
Hello.
Haha.
Yeah.
Then there's the
It wouldn't be Prancing Pony or anything like that.
No.
No, that was perfect. Yeah, that's a good movie.
There was The Things We Do at Night, I think was the name of it, where these vampires and various monsters live in this house.
What We Do in the Shadows.
What We Do in the Shadows, that's it, yeah. And the one scene I remember is they're walking down the street, and here come a group of vampires, not vampires, werewolves, and they're all kind of acting like gangs and taunting each other. Oh, these are the werewolf guys, and it's like two gangs meeting each other.
Two rivals.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I interject with something I think has got to be in the program?
Oh, please.
Has anyone
Well,
heard,
this is a well planned program with
has anyone
careful dialogue, and I'm not so sure you can just burst in with. But go ahead, since it's you.
has anyone heard of the Wilhelm Scream?
Yes.
I have not.
I've heard of the Wilhelm Scream. I can recognize it.
Well, you can? Okay. This is a scream that apparently was done by Sheb Woolley, who was a singer and an actor, very
Country
early
star.
in a Western, which I forget the title of, but the scream was somebody being killed or hurt or whatever by an arrow or a crocodile or something. And then it was put into the library. And in another Western that came up, it was then taken out and used because it was easier than having somebody come in and put a scream dialogue on it. And they put it into the library, and it was Private Wilhelm, a cavalryman, who was killed by an arrow, went, and so it became the Wilhelm Scream. And it's now in 433 movies,
Yes.
including them with the giant ants.
Awesome.
They still use it to this day.
Yep, to this day, it's still in use.
Is it credited?
Well, I don't think so. What they did is they decided it was like a little hors d'oeuvre that they would inject because the film industry got a kick out of it.
Well, that brings up bouncing around freeform side effects, sound effects. I think of Psycho
So good.
and the stabbing scene.
Yes.
That I think they were using somebody into watermelons or something. Does anybody remember that or hear that? When Janet Leigh was getting stabbed by Anthony Perkins.
That's the sound effect?
I think so.
Ooh.
I think so.
Juicy.
Well, it worked in the film. That was pretty
Yeah.
It did.
pretty scary.
Oh,
It did.
terrifying.
Yeah. Okay.
I believe Hitchcock said he filmed that in black and white because the shower scene would have been just too much in color.
It's almost too much in
Most-
black and white.
Most shower
I would
scenes are
agree.
too much
And
in
again,
color.
a still very watchable movie, I think.
Lucky for Janet, there was a stand-in in all those
Oh.
situations that were a bit bawdy.
Okay.
It's one of those movies that's kind of creepy. I don't ever want to watch it again. Too.
Oh no, I Well, it depends. If you like getting creeped out, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But that one, that's a very watchable, great plot. And, oh, God, one of my other favorite character actors, Martin Balsam.
Oh, yes,
being in
absolutely.
there. That guy's pretty good, man.
Where he goes backwards down the stairs is a cute piece of cinematography.
Yeah. And Anthony Perkins, little meek, mild Anthony Perkins, turns into a pretty good monster.
Yeah. Martin Balsam is also in my other favorite film of all time besides King Kong, and it's outside this genre, but it's called 1,000 Clowns. Martin Balsam won an Oscar for the Best Supporting Actor in that
I love
film.
That guy. Okay.
You've got to see it. It's called 1,000 Clowns, folks.
Okay.
Okay, I'm
Put that on my list.
writing it down on my
Exactly.
extensive notes right now. So I assume it's about a clown, huh?
No, it's not.
It's not? Okay.
It's just
No
a line
clowns
that comes up. It's from a play. It just happens to be spoken. It's a circus thing. Did you ever go to the circus, kid? You know, a little thing opens up in the middle of the ring and 1,000 clowns come out. And that's just a line in it.
If it was a lower number, it could have been Congress.
Ray's going political.
I guess it's
again.
going
Really, so
political.
Ease up there,
I'll
buddy.
get my political digs in here.
So before we run out of too much time here, back to the hokiness ones that I have written down. Even though as a kid, I love this stuff. Godzilla, Rodan, from the...
Godzilla was pretty neat. Rodan was rather inept, I think. But
Rodan was a movie that I guess I was about.
the Japanese held court for a while there with those films.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
They really did.
And the other weird one was way out there was called Mothra.
Another one of
yes.
That was
theirs.
the two little
It was,
ladies that were singing. I never got while that was going on, but
Another one of theirs.
yeah, a lot of big rubberized things that you could just move around, you know.
When I was a kid, Rodan was being hyped unbelievably on television, and if you watched any of Roy Rogers or any of those shows, you had to sit through a bunch of commercials about Rodan. So I was at the movie theater the day it opened with half of the teenagers I knew, or half of the teenagers on Long Island, I think, and we were so disappointed. It was so awful, and the fun part of it though was all the little toy tanks and trucks and the army that was going out to get him.
But later on, you were able to watch things like The Giant Gila Monster, The Killer Shrews, and great films like that.
Yes, great films like that. Now, one of the interesting things about Rodan, in one part they are bringing a casualty on a gurney through the something or other, and the casualty had an obvious erection. We all saw that as kids and thought it was fun.
That one I don't recall.
You don't? Well, it
Not
may,
that instance. Not really.
it's not mentioned or it's not anything about it. They just the
didn't
gurney goes
stick.
by and there's this tent right in the middle of the damn thing.
And another one that is hokey now, loved it as a kid, in color, but Journey to the Center of the Earth.
Oh, fabulous. I love it. It's an opera. It's wonderful. Love it.
Well,
Really?
I was into it big time.
I mean, some great sets. You can ignore Pat Boone, but it's some great
I was
sets.
going to say, even though it had Pat Boone, you liked
oh,
it.
but James Mason,
James Mason, always
always
reliable.
good, in what he does.
Always reliable.
While we're talking about Japanese horror movies, the original, I believe it was the original Godzilla, was actually a pretty good movie. It was done. I watched the Japanese version of it. I'm a little rusty on my Japanese, but I was able to keep up
A little?
And
Oh,
it's really a serious movie, and it's kind of okay. And unlike all the others after that, but
well, didn't they? I do believe they added all the Raymond Burr scenes into it afterwards. They weren't in the original
I was going to
Japanese
mention that.
movie.
Right.
I don't.
In order
recall-
to Americanize it.
Yep.
I don't recall.
Yeah,
He was
being in the
that's
version
one
of
that-
it.
Raymond Burr, Perry Mason was the star of Godzilla as shown over here.
That's correct.
The original one.
Well, like Lon said, I think they threw him in later to
Yeah.
make it palatable, but
They added
you know.
scenes in.
yeah.
I don't remember seeing him in the movie.
Saturday Night Live did a great bit, for kind of a takeoff on that when they did how the mouths moved when Japanese, but they would say, if you remember that scene, that's quite a while back. But,
Was it out of sync?
Oh, God, Dick,
It has to be.
one little open his mouth and, well, I understand it happened last year, that kind of a thing.
It is. Yeah, well, these lizards are very big.
Yeah. Wow, okay. Well, we're down to less than 5 minutes here on any more
The Mummy movies.
mummies. Yeah,
The first
Well,
Mummy
let's-
movie with
Let me.
with-
go ahead.
Boris Karloff, I thought was
Well,
pretty.
a classic.
And then they
Yes.
brought Karras out, who was the mummy, limping along, one game leg, and for some reason or other, he
Okay.
had
And an arm didn't work.
one arm that didn't work, and he caught able-bodied people who were running away because
He never fell behind.
they I don't know, they ran away backwards or they just stopped and screamed and let them. He walked through walls. He did all sorts of wonderful things.
And remember this in Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman, where Bela Lugosi walks around like a giant 2x4 with his hands sticking out straight, bumping into everything. That actually, in the original cut, he was blinded, but then they took all of his dialogue away, didn't explain that he was blinded, and so he looked like a twat running through the whole film.
Yeah, there was interesting fly-by-night things that were done in those days. But I really liked. I could never understand why people, when the mummy was chasing them, just didn't turn around and run. They had to run, or either they either run backwards or run into something that they were bound to get caught. They couldn't possibly get away. But I loved those movies when he would what's his name? Would have to take the 10 leaves and put it in the boiling water and then tell him what needed to be done and all that.
Well, no one can escape the mummy walk.
No.
They can't.
For you're frozen.
Yes.
Made me wonder why to be a cop you had to have physical fitness training, because you could just walk around like that and catch all the bad guys.
Well,
Eventually they were going to stop, turn around, and scream.
you'd probably also have to dress up like the mummy, and I don't think the cops want to do that.
Oh, I thought that would have been kind of fun.
That's a wrap.
Well,
Mummy is a wrap.
I won't say that. That some cases we'd be better off with the mummy than we have.
Possibly.
But that's another story.
Well, and speaking of a wrap, we have to start thinking about wrapping this up. We got a
Wrapping
couple
it up
minutes left.
already.
Anybody else last second horror movie sci-fi stuff?
Well, I'd just like to say everybody watch King Kong 12 times in a row. Just do that and watch The Bride of Frankenstein every time you can.
Yes.
And
Indeed.
it's a little out of place here, but watch the first Tarzan every chance you get.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
And there are some favorite scenes in that were pre-code, evidently.
The swimming scene.
The swimming scene, and then the other scene where
Wasn't
she's.
he an Olympic swimmer?
He was.
Well, he was,
he
yeah,
was.
but she wasn't. That was a body double that did the nude swimming scene.
Yeah.
You're not telling me those alligators he fought were not real?
Of course,
Oh,
they
those
were.
are real.
Of course they
Crocodiles.
were.
Oh, yes.
But
made
my
him
All
favorite,
12 of them.
my favorite part of the movie
And lions.
is the whole group, the porters or everybody there, going along this very thin ledge on the side of the mountain that seems there must be a lot of those in Africa, because every African movie has got one of those where they got to work along. Anyway, one of the porters falls, and you go, ah!
That's the Wilhelm Scream.
and one of the people from the groups, what was in that pack?
We're out of bacon.
Uh-oh, by the sound of that music, Helpies, we're down to 3 seconds left out of time. Thank you, Coreen and Lon, and our sound man, Mr. Michael, kicking kicks. And of course, Ray, the famous radio personality. Hey, man, you all, thanks.
Atomic Ray.
That's right. So you're listening to KCIW, LP, 100.7 FM in beautiful Brookings, Oregon.
And
Thank y'all.
good evening.
Good evening.
Ray has his phone.